if there is still any question on the report, and it has not yet been established, no, the Ombudsman believed that it should not be published. But when it is already completely reported, and there is no question about the report, then it must be published, Mr. Speaker.
Naku po, Paduano, bumanat. Confidential fund ng Ombudsman, pinag-iinitan. Pero bago ang lahat, maaari kayong mag-subscribe para maging updated sa mga issue at bagong mga balita. Matapos ngang tirahin ang budget ng OVP, heto na naman sila at nangingialam sa confidential fund ng Ombudsman. Pagmamagaling ni Paduano, nalampaso. Narito ang buong detalye.
Representative Joseph Stephen Caraps Paduano of the party list Abang Lingkod for his interpellation.
The Honorable Representative Joseph Stephen Caraps Paduano, the representative from Abang Lingkod party list, is recognized for his interpellation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Majority Leader. Will the good sponsor yield to some clarificatory questions?
I will be glad to, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
One of the distinguished minority leader in the past.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair Abante. Anyway, before I proceed with some clarificatory question, let me manifest, Mr. Speaker, that for on behalf of the Committee on Public Accounts, as the Chair of the committee, let me extend our heartfelt gratitude and for the very supportive agency as the Ombudsman related to my committee for the past several months, and now it's going to be 1 year, for the cooperative and very supportive role of Ombudsman with regards to the resolution and cases filed in my committee. And I hope we'll be seeing each other until July of 2025, if ever I will be still the chair of the Committee on Public Accounts. Now, with regards to the statement that was made by the former minority leader and deputy speaker of the House during the 18th Congress on the query of the Honorable Arlene Brosas, with regards dun sa pagtanggal ng budget ng confidential fund of the Office of the Ombudsman. Let me manifest, Mr. Speaker, that I strongly object on the proposal of the good sponsor na tanggalin ang budget ng confidential fund ng the Office of the Ombudsman because, Mr. Speaker, for as long as the Office of the Ombudsman comply with all the requirements being required by the Joint Memorandum Circular, there is no such basis para tanggalin ang budget for confidential fund of the Office of the Ombudsman. For the record, Mr. Speaker. Now, let me proceed with my first question. With regards to the statement of Justice Martinez during the budget deliberation in the Appropriations Committee about his suggestion to omit the specific provisions with regards to the COA budget, the item 5 of the of the National Expenditures Program with regards to annual audit report. But of course, during the budget deliberation, the Office of the Ombudsman slipped because he's referring to the AAR while he's stating about the EOM. Now, can the good sponsor clarify on this matter with regards to the statement of deleting or omitting the EOM
AOM. Not AOM. The AOM is the annual. Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, it has been made clear by the Ombudsman in the media that he talked about the
AAR.
AOM, Audit Observation Memorandum.
So he's talking about the Audit Observation Memorandum of the COA.
Not AR.
Not the annual audit report?
Actually,
In the item 5?
Actually, he is referring to the annual audit report, not the AOM.
Not the EOM, but the annual audit report.
Yes.
On the item 5 of the COA special provision.
Yes.
Correct. And let me read. Allow me to read, Mr. Speaker, the exact wordings of the item 5 of the special provisions on the proposed budget of the COA. Submission of annual Commission on Audit report. The COA shall submit to the Congress and the President of the Philippines annual reports for each agency and instrumentality of the national government, including GOCCs, LGUs, and non-government entities subject to its audit within 120 days, etc., etc. The last note is the chairperson of COA and the Commission web administrator or her equivalent shall be responsible for ensuring that the said reports are likewise posted on the COA website. That is the exact wordings of the item 5 on the National Expenditures Program with regards to the special provision on the COA budget. Now, if that is so, if the good sponsor is referring not on the EUM, but on the AAR, can you enlighten us? What will be the implications with regards to posting of the EIR in the website of COA?
Well, Mr. Speaker, if there is still any question on the report, and it has not yet been established, no? The Ombudsman believed that it should not be published. But when it is already completely reported, and there is no question about the report, then it must be published, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, ganito na lang. Siguro, I will just leave it to it, the discussion with regards to this. It's better siguro that the COA and the Ombudsman will talk about it, no? And then recommend to this August body so that during the period of amendments, it can be considered. If the good sponsor will agree with my suggestion, because it concerns about the COA and the Ombudsman, because that is the proposal of the Ombudsman, while the COA is okay with such provision on item 5 on the special provision.
One minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
Session is suspended.
Napag-usapan nila bago mag-amendment. Talaga, if the COA, tapos mag-manifest na ako dyan.
Alabas ka na lang.
Ha?
Alabas ka na lang.
Mag-okay ka na lang, mag-usap na lang sila. Ha? Para at least.
Sabi ko sa'yo, yes na lang. Wala, okay na. Yan na, yan na. Yeah.
Session. Majority Leader. Honorable Majority Leader. The gentleman, sponsor, may now proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I don't think that there is no more question on the query of my good friend, Congressman Paduano, because I fully agree with his statement, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for that answer, Mr. Speaker, ginong sponsor. And let me manifest na lang doon sa issue about the EOM and the AAR publication. Now, of course, the recommendation of the Office of the Ombudsman to remove the publication of annual audit reports must be carefully evaluated so as not to undermine the principles of transparency, accountability, and prudent governance. As correctly pointed out by the Ombudsman, AARs do not reflect the overall fiscal performance of the agency, and therefore inconclusive. That is also the statement of the Ombudsman. But while these reports may put our government officials in a bad light, just like the Juju Binay case, especially during election, and I will look into the data with regards to cases filed during election period and the regular annual period. But anyway, before I proceed to that, foremost priority must still be extended to the public's right to be informed on the government's usage of public funds. Likewise, if we withhold certain audit information, it may exacerbate the government's reputation, as people may perceive that we might be concealing certain transactions away from public scrutiny. Again, we should cautiously assess and determine the possible implications of the proposal to prevent erosion of public trust. Now, let me proceed to the budget of the Office of the Ombudsman. But before I proceed to that issue, will the good sponsor give this representation in the August body with regards to the numbers of pending of cases filed every year yung total complaints evaluated, evaluation rate, then yung cases for prosecution filed, and of course the conviction rate. Now, just give me during the 2018 to 2022 data. Why I'm asking this, Mr. Speaker? Because we need to look into this to justify the budget of the Office of the Ombudsman.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm holding here the anti-corruption investigation program, which kanina po nabanggit ko na. I think that we should also realize, Mr. Speaker, that we have had 3 years of pandemic.
Yeah.
No? And I believe that the 3 years of pandemic has affected the investigations of the Ombudsman. But of course, right now, the pandemic has been lifted, and I believe that the Ombudsman will be able to, again, give us a very good indicator on the outcome of the anti-corruption investigation program. The office for 2022, yun na lang, Mr. Speaker, the office has a total workload of 3,767 criminal cases, 2,448 of which were carried over from 2021, while the remainder of 1,319 were instituted in the year under review. So given this, 2,497 criminal cases, or 66.29% of the 3,767 workload were disposed of in 2022, leaving a balance of 1,270 as of December 31, 2022. Also, Mr. Speaker, as I add, reading the performance measures of the Ombudsman was also able to dispose 33 forfeiture cases out of the 64 workload in 2022, with a disposition rate of 51.56%. Of the said workload, 38 were carried over from the year 2021, while the remaining 26 were instituted in 2022. With respect to adjudication of administrative cases, given a workload of 3,847, 2,510 cases were carried over from the previous year, and 1,337 as newly instituted. The office was able to dispose of 2,702 administrative cases, or 70.24%, leaving a balance of 1,145 administrative cases as of December 31 of 2022.
So, Mr. Sponsor, can you give me the exact figure with regards to the total workload as of now? Both the criminal and administrative cases of the Office of the Ombudsman. Kasi dito po, napapansin ko lang na during the period of elections, my data is from 2019 lang po, and then 2022. It always goes up, especially during election period, election year. Now, that's why I mentioned about the Jujubinay case, though there is a memorandum circular at the time, of COA not to make any special audit on all candidates. But the time the Office of the Ombudsman was forced to, the Office of the Ombudsman requested the COA at the time to have a special investigation with regards to the Jojo Binay case. Now, I will not deal on that on detail, Mr. Sponsor, but what I'm saying is, in every election year, lumalaki talaga po yung workload ng Office of the Ombudsman. Kasi dito, 2019, the total workload is 11,681, while in 2022, it's also 11,326. While in the previous years, the average is between 7,000 and 9,000 cases of workload.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, thank you for that information. No? But in the first quarter of 2023, in the criminal cases, we have 1,871 filed and 607 have been disposed. While in the administrative cases, 1,808 have been filed and 622 have been disposed.
Thank you for that information, Ginong Sponsor. Anyway, in relation to the performance...
That would be, Mr. Speaker, from January to June.
January to
6
June.
months.
Okay.
of 2020.
Anyway, kailangan pa siguro dagdagan pa yung confidential fund nyo para mas tumaas yung rate of disposition of those cases. Anyway, with regards to the budget of the Office of the Ombudsman for fiscal year 2024, the total approved budget in the NEP is around 4.98 billion, while the proposed budget is 6.72 billion. With such variance between the proposed budget and the budget approved by the DBM, ano pong mga projects, activities, and programs ng ahensya na will be affected by this cut of budget?
Well, the salient features of the budget, Mr. Speaker, are personnel services requirements for field and unfilled position as of April 28, 2023. I was told also by the Ombudsman that they would be hiring 100 lawyers by the end of December 2023, Mr. Speaker. And that they will open up satellite offices in several areas in the country so that they can be more effective in adjudicating cases.
Okay. So, how much is the actual proposed budget for that 100 lawyers and the creation or establishment of satellite offices?
Well, the total personal services requirement for 2024 is 4 billion 103 million 47. So in this budget, that the 100 lawyers actually are included.
So the 100 lawyers is included on the budget proposed.
Personal services.
But this is around 2 billion. What I may say, if I will ask you the priority, of course, this is the priority project of Ombudsman that was last based on your proposed budget. Now, ang question is, ito yung priority nyo, magkano po talaga yung eksaktong or ballpark figure dito sa 100 lawyers and satellite offices. Para matingnan lang po natin.
Kasi, Mr. Speaker, it is more of a continuing organization and continuing feeling of the need of the Ombudsman. So therefore, palagay ko, even to me, it would be very hard to put up a ballpark figure, Mr. Speaker. Basta binanggit po natin dito that the personal services would be for more than 4 billion now. Ano to? Well, there is a figure here, 1,026,020,000. Oh.
So that's
Perhaps
almost...
that would be the ballpark figure.
Yeah, that's almost 50% of the total cut with regards to the proposed budget of the Office of the Ombudsman.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Anyway, for my last point, Mr. Speaker, I would just like to manifest that the statement made by the Office of the Ombudsman that it is satisfied with its budget deserves the utmost praise and respect. As our members pointed out during the budget briefing, it is rare for a government agency to be pleased with what the DBM has approved as their operating budget under the NEP for a given year. Likewise, the statement made by the sponsor to omit o yung pagtanggal sa confidential fund ng the Office of the Ombudsman. But however, Mr. Speaker, considering the vital role of the Office of the Ombudsman in our campaign against corruption, it is only proper to increase their budget and, if possible, retain the original proposal in the amount of 6.72 billion. I earnestly hope that the House leadership and the whole membership of this House would consider this proposed budget to be restored for the Office of the Ombudsman. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Ginoong Sponsor.
Daghang salamat.